Hey everybody, my name is Mikayla Jones and I am currently a sophomore at the University of Illinois and a member of Sigma Alpha Professional Agricultural Sorority. How many of you have ever gone to Red Lobster and eaten some shrimp or some fish? Or how many of you have ever gone fishing at the lake or at a beach somewhere? If you've ever done either of the things, you have experienced a really cool part of agriculture called aquaculture. Aquaculture can be defined as the rearing of aquatic animals or the cultivation of aquatic plants for food. But to put it more simply, it's just farming in water. I know when I think about farming, I always think about the big tractors out in the fields harvesting corn and beans, or people milking their cows in their barns, but it's pretty neat to think about farming being done in the water. Some popular types of aquaculture include fish farming, shrimp farming, oyster farming, seaweed farming, and the cultivation of ornamental fish. So let's get into some of these things. Fish, shrimp, and oyster farming are pretty simple to think about. This is just raising these things for food so that we can eat them. Just like farming on land is more popular here in the Midwest, like here in Illinois, since we have such fertile farmland and so much free area to grow crops, farming in water, or aquaculture, is more popular by the beaches or the lakes because that's where they have the most room to do their farming. So places like Michigan, where there are the Great Lakes, or places like Florida or California, or any of the other places along the coast, are great places for aquaculture, and a lot of it happens in those areas. Seaweed farming is one that we probably don't think too much about, but have you or your family ever had a salad that has kale in it? Well, guess what? Kale is actually dried seaweed, so if you've ever had that to eat, you've eaten a product of aquaculture then too. The last thing that I listed earlier was the cultivation of ornamental fish. Cultivation, that's kind of a big word. What does it mean? Cultivation is the process of trying to acquire or develop a quality or skill, or growing something. And how about ornamental? This reminds me of Christmas, where you hang ornaments on the Christmas tree. And that's right. Ornamental means that something is decorative. So, the cultivation of ornamental fish means growing and raising fish that won't be used for food, but instead will be used for looking at or admiring. This would include fish like goldfish, koi, tropical fish, or fish like Nemo and Dory. Aquaculture sounds pretty cool so far, right? But why do we need it? Well, just like we get our food from eating veggies grown on the farm, and beef, chicken, and pork that are raised, we also like to eat seafood. Aquaculture is needed to fill the demand for fish around the world, and it is also needed to help feed our world's growing population. In other countries where there isn't as much farmland as there is here, they might rely almost completely on aquaculture because there are some places that simply just live near a big body of water, so they need to eat fish and aquatic plants in order to survive. Although we focus mostly on land farming around here, aquaculture is a huge industry and is very important for lots of people around the world. So, in summary, aquaculture is breeding, raising, and harvesting fish, shellfish, and aquatic plants. Although it isn't super popular here in Illinois, it is very popular and important in other parts of the country and the world that have easier access to water. It is used to help meet the demand for seafood and help feed our growing population. So, the next time you go to McDonald's and have a Filet-O-Fish sandwich, or you go to the aquarium and see Nemo and his friends swimming around, remember that it was aquaculture that made you able to do those things.